different. So yeah, there's an increase for demand for the continental, but African dishes has to remain constant.
He also has a responsibility to attract more clientele to the Nigerian dishes.
They once in a while they try to know what it is. They ask questions, ask us to tell them how to make it. For those that are curious, yes, they demand for the African dishes sometimes.
Or do they stick to it?
No, they do not. They do not. Maybe because of the ingredients we use, they are not used to most of the things we cook with, so they do not actually stick with it. They just try it out, know how it tastes, know what it feels like, probably fill their bellies, and that's it.
Still in the food line, in cases where it's not for immediate consumption, the method of packaging local meals to flour is another way which may have sustained the taste of Nigerians.
The first quality that you will derive from a processed food is that it is sustained, so it can last. It can be put in a shelf, it will have a shelf life, as opposed to if it was something, the indigenous method, where you are going to consume it immediately. So now that you have something that can be preserved for a longer period of time, that benefits, of course, the consumer, who can consume at their convenience, but then it also makes the product more mobile, if you like, and it can move from place to place, and therefore, hence, export markets. And our company pioneered exports in the 50s, when the 40s, 50s, when a lot of Nigerians went abroad in search of the, quote, golden fleece, and then they were in foreign lands, and then they needed to be able to eat, or they wanted, or they desired to eat their indigenous foods. But so these packaged foods, processed and packaged foods, were easily available, and so we exported them, and we still export foodstuffs. So processing has actually facilitated that process of allowing us to disseminate our food products all over the world. Of course, it now goes beyond the indigenous consumer and starts to influence the foreign palate a little bit. And I can tell you that today we have contributed significantly to adapting the foreign palate. You would see typically now, an Oyibo man will eat a lot of pepper, what you may not consume before. And they are much more adventurous. When they make friends with Africans, they want to eat African food, And by and large, some of our foods are more wholesome than what they have to offer. So this has been an influence on acceptability of our foodstuffs all over the world.
There's also the tourism sector, which could influence and expand the Nigerian culture.
Tourism is about injecting your culture into whatever you do. Because when people travel to Africa, they've come to see Africa. Not a cheap imitation of America or Europe. They wanted to see, they travel to Africa because they like to see the continent, what the continent is about. But we're so much in a hurry to basically start a tourism endeavor that we rush and import foreign cultures into our hospitality space. It's understandable, it's easier, it's on the long run cheaper, but it will really not start off what will bring an economic trickle-down effect that will affect the lives of the people. When you build outside of what you can call the comfort zone of the immediate environment of what you develop, the people will not benefit from it. And that's what you found in the oil sector, because they've brought in a technology that is way beyond the people, because they're not that educated to a level where they can operate and participate in the development of that particular natural resources that they happen to find in their environment. And that's the reason why anywhere else in the world where you find any natural resources, it's boom to that environment. Instant boom to that environment. But in Africa, not only Nigeria, because you know what happened, remember what happened in Sierra Leone and what's happened in different parts of Africa. When you find the natural resources, it's doom. Instead of boom, it turns to doom. Basically because they don't have the capacity to participate in the harvesting of that natural resource. And that's the same thing we're trying to carry into tourism. Basically, rushing to get a quick Chinese hotel, a quick South African hotel, rushing to get a quick European hotel or American hotel. There's nothing wrong with that. We cannot develop our industry overnight. It'll take a process, but that process must begin with us making sure that what we must do is have first our background, our basis being our culture. So everything and everybody can come and participate in that. So when they come, they can see an African culture that is rich with presentation in area of what they see when they come, the food, the music, the entertainment. It must be an African experience.
At the end of the day, it's a yes and a no situation in some areas, in clothing, in music. Nigeria seems to be doing well according to popular opinion. But in areas of language, parents have a job to do. What do you think about this? Talk to us on Big Story. Until next time, I'm Amy Thompson.